If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Attack him. You know, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back. He thinks Terence but Crawford would dominate Floyd Mayweather if they ever faced off. According to Roy, Crawford has all the tools needed to break Floyd down. His quick thinking, punching power, and ability to adjust during a fight would make things very tough for Mayweather. Roy also suggests Floyd's undefeated record came from dodging fighters who could really challenge him, and he believes Crawford is exactly that kind of fighter.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning toward him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I'm leaning. I am leaning toward Crawford. I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo is hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition for what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, it's very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. says Crawford has skills most fighters can only dream of. First, he praises Crawford's fight IQ, how he reads opponents, adjusts during the fight, sets traps, and changes tactics in real time. Second, he points out Crawford's ability to switch stances, fighting smoothly as both orthodox and southpaw to confuse rivals and find openings. Third, Roy talks about Crawford's timing and punch setup, knowing exactly when and what to throw, using feints, jabs, and head body combos for maximum effect. Fourth, he highlights Crawford's footwork and movement, how he uses angles, stays out of trouble, and creates space while staying ready to counter. Fifth, it's his power with precision, not just brute force, but smart, accurate punches that land at just the right moment.
Probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud.
Jones believes Crawford is at the top of his game, undefeated, experienced, versatile, and still driven. A rare mix. He says Crawford has shown he can adjust, carry power across weight classes, and fight smart both in and out of the ring. At 167.5 pounds, Crawford has the perfect mix of speed, strength, experience, and fight IQ, with all the tools in place. Jones thinks this could be Crawford's moment to make history and rewrite the record books.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. He's going out, and Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a two-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Some critics think a fight like this could hurt Crawford's legacy. They argue that instead of building on big wins like dominating Errol Spence or outclassing Canelo, he'd be chasing money, not greatness. This view comes from how Mayweather's recent fights have been more about big paydays than real challenges. Analysts say Crawford has worked hard to be seen as someone choosing cash over history. Critics also question the timing of some of Mayweather's wins. For instance, Canelo was just 22 and still developing when they fought, and Pacquiao later said he had a shoulder injury before their 2015 fight, which affected his performance. Plus, Mayweather often avoided rematches, especially with Pacquiao leaving fans wondering what if. In contrast, Crawford is known for beating top opponents when they're in their prime, which makes his accomplishments stand out even more.
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation. But when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5-division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5-division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say the accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. It's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud, in my opinion.
Jones says Floyd's claim to being the best only holds up when it comes to making money, not when judging who's the best fighter across all styles. Roy makes it clear he's not trying to be disrespectful, but when he shares his opinion, he fully stands by it.
What's happening, fight fans around the world? I know how y'all are. I know y'all enjoy this thing of boxing. I know we play games and people have their issues and people have opinions. Cool too. I got opinions and I'm allowed to say my opinions or speak my opinions. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open. Ready to go. Let's go.
Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. have a complicated relationship built on respect, but marked by rivalry. They both admire each other's talent, but their strong egos often clash. Roy often says he was the more naturally gifted fighter, having dominated several weight classes at his peak. Floyd, meanwhile, points to his perfect record and smart business moves as proof he's the greatest. Things got tense when Roy criticized Floyd's claim of being TBE the best ever, saying it was disrespectful to legends of the past. Floyd fired back, calling out Roy's late career losses as damaging to his legacy. Their rivalry isn't about fighting in the ring, it's a battle of pride and who truly deserves a place at the top of boxing history.
Is there something that you want to elaborate on, or is there something that maybe you don't like about Floyd?
One thing I don't like is that you don't respect elders. You talk about Muhammad Ali got beat by an 8-0 fighter. The 8-0 fighter was an Olympian who was a monster, who, if you had a monster like that in your weight class, you wouldn't fight him at that time. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect anybody. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're going to have some respect. Because if you want to get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
But I didn't hear you say anything disrespectful about Floyd.
I never do. I'm not the disrespectful type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You
If
stand on it.
I stand on it. You understand me? I'm not, like I said, I don't think LeBron is not a great player. I'm not one of the greatest players of all time. But if you ask me, in your opinion, my opinion, which I'm entitled to, you think LeBron or Mike? I'm going to say Mike because I saw what Mike went through to get where he got. So I got my own reason why I'm going to probably like Mike. I'm not saying just you're trash. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a great player.
Right.
I'm not saying you're not one of the top 5. Because you could be that. You feel me? And in most people's opinion, you probably are. Some people's opinion, you probably top 1. That's not, I can't say, oh, I'm right and everybody's wrong. No, that's just my opinion.
Right.
I'm entitled to my opinion.
Right.
But I will fight about my opinion.
Right.
So if you got a problem with my opinion, whoever,
right,
call my house. It ain't changed.
Jones Jr. recently revealed that Mayweather doesn't make his personal top 5 greatest boxers of all time. He said Floyd might deserve a spot in the top 10, but not higher. According to Jones, many of Mayweather's biggest wins came against fighters who were past their prime, which hurts his case for being among the very best. He also stressed that timing is important. Beating someone like Manny Pacquiao after he'd already suffered losses and setbacks doesn't hold the same value as beating him at his peak.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5 of
No,
all time?
not in my book. No.
Not even top
Not in my
10?
book. Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not
Maybe
top
top
5.
10.
He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought him? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he's going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
He fought Cotto.
Cotto was
Manny
not on his
Pacquiao,
level.
Manny
Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great.
I
All
agree
right,
with
so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them? Biggest, best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo.
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because
would.
I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
Jones also warned that if Mayweather ever stepped into the UFC octagon or any MMA fight, it wouldn't be a fair matchup. While he respects everything Floyd's done in boxing, Jones made it clear that MMA is a whole different game with kicks, knees, takedowns, and submissions, things Floyd has never had to face in a real fight. Jones didn't hold back, saying, Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150 pounds. I'm like 120 pounds. I'd hurt Mayweather, making it clear that the size difference, skill sets, and rules would put Floyd in serious danger. Meanwhile, other veteran boxers have also voiced their support for Terence Crawford in this potential super fight.
Would like it if we kept it to MMA fighters trying out boxing. I think it's a lot safer for an MMA fighter to try out boxing. If you get a boxer inside the octagon, man, there's so many elements that they're unfamiliar with. The head kicking and the body kicking and the choking and the arm bending and the ankle twisting and all that. It's a lot, and it could be really dangerous for Floyd to join an MMA match. So I would strongly suggest he reconsider.
Would you want to fight him?
Floyd Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150. I'm like 220. I'll hurt Floyd Mayweather.
Jim Lampley recently made a big comparison, saying Terence Crawford reminds him of the legendary Sugar Ray Robinson. He praised Crawford for his rare ability to stay balanced, hold his position, and fire off powerful counter-punch skills that Lampley says few fighters have shown so consistently since Robinson's era.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
Ooh.
David Benz believes Crawford belongs on boxing's Mount Rushmore. Now that Crawford has claimed undisputed titles in 3 weight classes, David points to his undefeated record and big win over Canelo as proof of greatness for him. Crawford's ability to shine at different weights pushes him beyond debate and into true legend status.
So I just want to give
Terence Crawford, a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, man, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but as take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terence Crawford.
Shane Sugar Mosley argues that Crawford is the more complete boxer compared to Mayweather today. He says Crawford's size, reach, and toughness give him an edge in a potential fight. Mosley also admires Crawford's skill to switch stances, adapt quickly, and mix power with finesse. While Mayweather's defense and ring IQ are still top-notch, Mosley thinks Crawford's aggression and punch variety make him the favorite.
You fought both Canelo and Mayweather. You fought them both. Who did you think was better, Canelo or Mayweather? I know that's Canelo was saying it was Crawford better than Mayweather.
I was very impressed with Canelo at 21, but Mayweather was still technically more sound. I think Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is.
Virgil Ortiz calls Crawford one of boxing's best and believes very few fighters at their weight can beat him, maybe only himself. Ortiz respects Crawford's mix of skills, smart ring strategy, sharp punches, and strength that stays strong even when moving up in weight. He's confident, seeing himself as a real threat. Since beating Canelo to become undisputed super middleweight champ, Crawford is seen as the most dangerous fighter in the sport. Many avoid him to protect their legacy. Crawford has called out fighters like Boots Ennis and accused Canelo of dodging matches. With David Benz and Gerald Charlo, his promoter says talks often fall apart because opponents fear losing or facing his tough style.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just going to treat him as a 147-pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, you know. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah.
You know.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he going to be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration.
On the other hand, some fighters and analysts praise Floyd Mayweather not just for his speed or defense, but for his mindset. They say what made him truly great was his unshakable confidence, the belief he could beat anyone. Tony Jeff, for example, notes that Mayweather's mental edge let him control fights before they even started.
Mindset, they're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
You fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work hard. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. There was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of...
Comparing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford is a debate that never ends. Both faced the toughest opponents of their times, and both came out winning with dominant performances.
Oh my goodness. I said that was going to happen. If Crawford was to win, we're going to be seeing a lot of these debates on whether or not Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford is going to be better. Now, this is going to be a debate for a long, long time. I'm talking about one of those debates like LeBron versus MJ, Messi versus Ronaldo. It's one of those. And the thing is, I can get behind it. Let me go ahead and say this. When it comes to resume, I do think we give Floyd Mayweather the edge. I mean, he beat a bunch of champions. He reigned for a long time. While Crawford, his resume is heavily criticized, and he's just not getting, his kind of respect for beating Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But if we're talking strictly off of skills, this is where things get really, really tough to talk about. I think a fair assessment of this matchup would be Floyd Mayweather wins from 135 and 140, while Crawford wins from 147 to 154. And I say that because I feel like Floyd's style changed once he got to welterweight. He became a more defensive fighter, and he just wasn't as much focused on offense. And knowing this, I feel like Crawford would have had a much better chance of handling him. And we all know, Crawford was an absolute monster at welterweight. But man, like I said, this is going to be a debate for a very long time, and I can't wait to hear all the talk about it. But I'm curious on your thoughts. Who do you think wins in the fight, Floyd or Terence Crawford? Let's talk about it, and follow me for more boxing talk.